I think it's working now. So for Dean and for Melanie and whoever else might be looking at this later, and the rest of us still need to look at number 30. I'm just going to scroll down quickly. Go ahead and check the answers. Pause them when you need. There's 2 and 4 and 10. Number 24, final answer right down here. 30 we'll come back to because he's a beast. 34, final answer 397. 48, right here, A, B, and C, and D. 52. And then 66, talking through all the different shapes that you were supposed to identify. The weird one was letter E because it was none. Okay, number 30. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Letter A is Bulgaria. You guys are supposed to find the equation. That's the one that we kind of went through yesterday together, was Bulgaria. We just didn't actually plug in and find all the numbers. All right, let's see. Bulgaria, after plugging in, this is them just plugging in, finding A, finding B. All right, so here's their final equation for Bulgaria. The equation was y equals 7.6 e to the negative 0.0073t. 6.1 million is how many they would assume, or the model would predict would be around in 2030. 6.1 million. Canada, was he the next one? Okay. Canada, you guys need to see there's Bulgaria's equation. There he is. Bulgaria's equation 6.1. Canada ends up being 31.4 e to the positive 0.000741t. No, it's small. 31.4 e to the only 2 zeros. Sorry, 0.00741t. And their prediction for 2030 would be 39.2 million people. I don't think the U.S. was next. Is China next? China. China's equation ends up being 1,277.8 times e to the 0.00401t. The rate isn't really that far off of Canada, but the number of starting people was a lot different. In 2030, it's projected to be 1,441.1 million people. The UK, 59.0 e to the 0.00547t. Actually, UK's rate is higher than China's rate, but definitely fewer people to start with. Projected 69.5 million people. And last but not least, the US, 281.9 times e to the 0.00958. I think that's one of the fastest ones so far. As far as rate, once again, starting with a smaller amount than some, bigger than others. Projected 375.8 million people. B and C were the idea ones. The higher B is, it's really just B is the rate of growth. They were just trying to identify who's who. So B is the rate of growth. And then letter C was saying if B is positive, then the growth is, well, then the population is growing, and if B is negative, the population is decreasing. Okay, it's smaller. Yeah, Jenna.
Is it okay if I round it up on R?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So that might change your projections just a little bit, but this should be similar. All right, kiddos. We've been able to check all of the evens, but that doesn't mean that we answered all of your questions. So does anybody have something in particular that they can explain, or just give me a problem that they want me to look over, etc.? Kevin, what do you got?
Number 52.
Number 52? Just coming up here. Let's go ahead and zoom so that we can see it again. All right, anything else besides 52? Yeah.
24.
24. Anything else?
48.
40. Anything else? Okay, if you think it's something, let me know, but otherwise let's start with 24, then 48, then 52, and if you guys can kind of keep me honest, I'll try to remember those ones. But starting with 24, let's see. Let's see the, okay, good. Dean had a question on this one too. 24. We talked about this one yesterday. It's decay. So that means what equation are we using for 24? Yeah. Janelle's saying it really quietly. Those of you guys that aren't focused, if you don't have homework ready, then you should be paying extra careful attention, or else I might just spot check you. And if you do have homework ready and you have your question answered, you could technically be working on the chapter review right now. So let me give it a quick second. If anybody wants to take a picture of the chapter review to write it down, maybe you don't have the same questions as everyone else. Or if you want to just write down the first few problems. If you want to grab a book up at the front or out in your locker, you can do so quickly. But we're going to go ahead and go back to answering questions for those that's helpful for. And for those of you guys that are working on a review, cool, just stay quiet as we try to answer. So we're using the decay formula, y equals ae to the negative bt. What do we have? We have a half-life and we have a amount after 1,000 years. So if I were to plug in for number 24, quiet, or else no one's going to be able to work on the review and I'll make you all shut your books. 24. 24,100 years is a time, right? Half-life, well, it's going to be half. Remember, half-life is talking about y, or a, is going to equal 1/2. So the amount is going to be half of what you started with. So for the half-life, you actually could say the following equation. 1/2 a is going to equal ae to the negative b times, and then we know the year to be, or the years to be 24,100. And so it seems like you don't have enough, but the crazy thing is if you divide both sides by a, you actually get 1/2 is equal to e to the negative 24,100b, which you can use to solve for b by taking ln of both sides. So at the end of the day, b is going to equal ln of 1/2 dividing the 24,100. You could get b's decimal. Once again, I set the amount equal to half of what it started with, so the a's got to reduce away. Then I solve by taking ln of both sides, dividing the 24,100. Once I have b, what can I do? Yeah, I can plug in to find a, except, well, I kind of need another time to plug in, which the good thing is they gave me another clue. So I can take this b and I can plug it into knowing, well, hold on, y is 0.4 when t is 1,000. So how do I find the initial amount? I plug in the amount after 1,000. 0.4. I plug in 1,000. I plug in the b. And so a is going to end up equaling, which is the same thing as the initial quantity. The initial quantity is the a in the formula. It's going to end up equaling this 0.4 divided by e to the negative b times 1,000. And to get that answer, you just have to go ahead and plug this guy. Does that make sense? It probably looks like they didn't give you enough information, but they did. It was just tricky. Half-life was kind of like doubling, how you plug in 1/2 of the original, and then you get to cancel out the original as you solve. So that's going to be some calculator work, but then after you plug in, you should have everything. Guys, this will already also be in the video if you need to re-watch it a little bit later, but that does technically get you in. All you have to do is find that b, plug in that decimal, and then you got your initial quantity. I think the next one is number 48. Is that one of your homework problems, 48? Number 30. I think Dean, you had a question on this one. Number 30. I talked about yesterday in the video. So you can go check out the video from yesterday. I started with Bulgaria, and I think I got to where all you had to do was plug in to solve for Bulgaria's equation. You just need to do the same thing for all the other countries. And you can check out the answer that we popped up a second ago. But number 48 was the weird decibel one. And you guys had to have looked up here in the directions for this. That's why I have you read and kind of even summarize directions. So they tell us this formula that the level of sound, beta, is modeled by this equation. And they actually give you part of the equation. They tell you this little guy, I sub 0, is 10 to the negative 12 watts per square meter. So you can plug that in. which corresponds roughly to the faintest sound that can be heard by the human ear. Probably depends on how old you are as to what that sound is, but the faintest sound that can be heard by any human ear. So really all you had to do to solve for A, B, C, and D for 48, which is similar to 47, which you guys, I don't know, you guys stuck on 48, I would have thought, and this is just me, maybe you guys wouldn't have thought, I would have thought, let's go look at Calc Chats 47 and see if I can figure out how they did it. It's a great idea, right? But if that didn't help, I just needs to get plugged into the formula. So like for letter A, all you're literally doing is looking at formula up above and saying the rustle of leaves, how does that work as far as the level of sound, the sound intensity? Plug it in. It's going to be 10 times log of, take the I, or the intensity of the rustling leaves, which would be 10 to the negative 11, divided by what they told you to be I sub 0, 10 to the negative 12. The crazy thing is you don't even need a calculator because when you divide like bases, don't you subtract exponents? So that'd be negative 11 minus negative 12, or plus 12 would be 10 to the 1. And then we know a common log base 10 of 10, that would just be 1 times 10 is 10. Yes, you probably could have used your calculator, but you didn't need to. So for letter A, which is the one I just did, just plugging in 10 to the negative 12 as the denominator, the I that's given for whatever sound it is that they're giving you, plugged in as the numerator, and then just simplify using exponents, or I guess using your calculator. So B, C, and D are going to follow from that, and then you guys can see the answers if you look at the video tonight, and you already saw them a little bit ago. Uh-oh. We had one more question, but I totally forgot what number. 50, who? 52? Okay, that's the weird PH one. Same thing. Basically, they're just trying to say logarithms are super useful in nature for modeling different phenomena. So then they're saying, like, hey, guess what? It's also useful in pH. And they give you this little formula right there. Without that, you would have been lost. They talk about where you have the acidity, where you have the hydrogen ion concentration, etc. But basically for 52, all you have to do is say, oh, is that what H equals? I know. So easy, it's hard.
Yeah, I did number 51 in there, so that's one.
Oh, that would make sense. Well, a lot of people though, like in past years, Kevin, you're good. They didn't see the formula, but that you knew what it was. You used it. But for other people though, because I'm sure there's at least one or two that got stuck on this. It literally was just a substitution. I know it's weird because you're not used to seeing like actual applications where you have a quantity that's not like an X or a Y, but they gave you the quantity, plug it in, negative log of. Use your calculator, definitely. Definitely. All right, cool kids. Those are the word problems that I saw you guys with questions on. Doesn't mean that you might not personally have another question that you might want to ask me in a little bit, but let's go and get this test review down. If you don't yet, remember, don't write the directions, don't write the problems. There's so many, but remember, some of these logarithmic exponentials are baby puzzles that you can go boom, boom, boom on, right? You hope. Let me give you a second to write it down. We're going to have basically all of class to work, because you guys didn't have as many questions, and that's what I hoped. With yesterday being a working day and my being able to answer some questions, I hoped it wouldn't be as bad when we got to homework questions today. Jacob, go ahead.
Can I get my locker?
Yes. I'm peeking at one version of the test just really quickly to remind myself of how many word-ish problems I might put on there. I know that's one of your guys' questions. as far as word problems go, the maximum that will be on the test will be 2. I'm giving you a hint. One of them is going to be financial. You guys should know what I mean by that, right? One of them is going to be financial. So know each of the formulas, the 2 that I pointed out to you guys along the way. Maybe even look at the table that was in homework, section 3.5. Maybe look at the table when I talk about financial. I might write a little note to you on the top of your test review. One word problem is going to be financial. Maybe look at the table, the financial table from 3.5. The other one is going to be not near as involved as the population again. But a word problem. Where basically you're given clues that you plug in to solve for variables to find the model that you then use. Does that make sense? So you're given clues, you plug in, like a lot of these, you plugged in to find A, to find B. You plug in to find your coefficients, to find your variables. Get your model after finding the R's and the A's and all that jazz. And then you use it to solve for some future prediction. Okay, so those are the 2 that are going to be on the test. Tomorrow's test is going to be mostly non-calculator, but there are going to be 2 parts to the test. Mostly non-calculator, but on the back page where you have your long answers, you are allowed to use your calculator. That's where 2 of the 2 word problems are found. You're allowed to use your calculator for those. But there are 4 long answers total. The 2 word problems are at the very end. And then you have 2 equations that you're supposed to solve with the technique of 3.1 to 3.4. Probably mostly looking at section 3.4, how you guys just had lots of equations and you used exponential and logarithmic properties to solve. So, tomorrow, on the back page, you are allowed to use your calculator. 4 long answer and 1 bonus. The 2 word problems. One is just like a financial table one. And one's going to be the plug in what you know, define what you don't know, and then use it to solve for something else. And then 2 of them are solving equations step by step, like section 3.4. Real quick, we figure out today, because that way we won't waste time tomorrow. Would you guys rather tomorrow start with the, what do we got? Like 16 or 17 multiple choice, or with the 4 long answer? With the calculator? Let's think about how many of you guys want to start with the multiple choice, which is the majority of the problems on the test. How many of you guys want to start with the long answer? Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with the multiple choice, but you guys then, hold on. You're going to have to divvy your time up accordingly so that you turn in that multiple choice before you're allowed to get out your calculator and work on the back page. Does that make sense? So I'm going to have 2 parts of the test. I'm going to pass out all the multiple choices. You guys go. No calculator, but the calculator's under your desk waiting for you. When you turn in the multiple choice to the front table, you're picking up that back page, getting your calculator, and going for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're going to have to make those choices on the multiple choice and not wait until the final bell to guess that very last one that you're not sure about. All right, I'll go ahead. You guys working on the review? No directions, no problems, just going? Any questions about tomorrow's test that I haven't answered? What do you guys think would be a good warning for me? Because I don't want to keep on giving you warnings throughout the full test. Maybe like 15 minutes left of class, 20 minutes left. Just to give you a warning tomorrow during the test so that you haven't turned in multiple choice. Okay. So I'll give a warning at 15 minutes. If I haven't yet, maybe I'll give it at 20 minutes left of class. Just so that you guys know. But you'll probably see people start turning it in. You probably know, ooh, I should probably be getting this done. Alright, David, what's up, bud? If you guys want to move, you can move. If you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to put in music, that's totally cool. Ask the music itself. Oh, Axel said this, but please, special 3 points in golden, but Axel said you sent this at 1 zeros. See the subtract 4, 5, and negative 1. Oh, okay. Have to get rid of the log by using 10 with the power. Good job. Dean and Melanie, I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to pause it unless they ask a particular question I can help on. 1.5%, which would be 0.015, but they put something with a 3 in there, which doesn't make sense. Dean and Melanie, I'm just catching up really quickly. Someone already went ahead in the review, and they figured out that CalcChat has a typo on 105. The R that the book gives is 1.5%, which would be 0.015. That's what should have been plugged in on CalcChat. They plugged in something different. Actually, do you have the number that they plugged in? Okay. So if you want to do it like CalcChat and check the answer, they did it as though it was 3.5% or 0.035. So if you want, you can change the book problem to be like CalcChat. That way you can check the answer platforms.